So this is what we did. We had Obama's farewell address. We used multiple Nokia Ozo cameras, which are stereoscopic. That means they mimic the human eye instead of monoscopic, where it's just flat on a canvas. We multi-streamed. We streamed them live to YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter simultaneously. We accomplished this faster than traditional broadcasters were able to get them live. So the ask was to create a memorable experience. We definitely did that. We had, I don't want to say the numbers of how much that we put into it, but the companies that were involved were Radiant Images and Vantage TV. We worked round the clock to make it happen. The tech that we had was 3 times the amount of what any traditional broadcaster had there, because it was just an insane amount of work to get done. Our live stream reached 2.5 million people, and we got so much press. We didn't put any PR out. We had 30 news outlets within the first hour of announcing it, putting the stuff on. I call that VR for PR. Pretty rad stuff, right? So got a bunch of opens. These are just little braggy things, but the important thing is that we did it. So the jaunt camera, much like the Ozo, is at a very high price point. We're looking at $40,000 to $80,000 US. Then you go down to you go across to the golf ball looking one. That is the Samsung Gear 360. It's a $350 device. When that came out last year, I was like, holy shit. You know, anybody can do that. YouTube creators are going to be able to test that and realize what story is and realize how to film that. And it does automatic stitching, which means it takes those 2 pictures and it puts them together so that you don't have to use all these expensive softwares. We used to have to pay stitchers $500 an hour to stitch all this stuff together with like all these crazy GoPro rigs. Rest in peace GoPro's camera, which has 8 lenses and it mimics the human eyes, so you're able to have depth, much like the jaunt camera or the Ozo camera. But $800 for stereoscopic camera is amazing to me, because that, at the very least last year, at the very, very least, would have been about $7,000. 1 year. 1 year. Now we look at what's changing with social. This is Mark Zuckerberg's avatar, which looks a little bit like Justin Timberlake for some reason. And that's him taking a selfie in VR. And that's what Facebook's going to become pretty soon, showing your world in a really cool way, which is really, really badass, because we get to be there. You know, our families aren't around us anymore. My family lives across the country from me, so when I have my little girls, I want to be able to show them that. If my little girls are doing something amazing, riding their bike for the first time, I can have a camera set up to where my mother can watch as she rides her bike and be there and look around in that physical space. It's transformative. This whole time, it's transformative. I've had the hardest time coming up with what I'm going to talk about, because we're at this very beginning. We're at Palm right now. We're at when the PC came out. But we have to realize that we're at Palm. We are at Palm. Remember, who had an Atari 2600? Come on. Oh, you guys are a bunch of liars. Thank you for not lying. Who had a Nintendo Entertainment System? Okay, you're a nerd. You had both. Love you. Love you. So what's interesting to me is that we have these softwares that are coming out. I'm looking for the Mario moment. I'm looking for the time that somebody makes a Super Mario Brothers so that everybody has to buy these systems. And that's what amazes me. But right now we're at this time, which is very similar to when the PC first came out for us. It's going to transform the way that we are entertained, the way that we see comedy, the way that we see war, the way that we celebrate, the way that we see death, the way that we see love. I'm working on a project right now with a young artist, and I want to do poetry in VR, where there is actually a scenario that is made specifically for a poem, and where you're trapped in this thing just for a moment, just for a minute, just for 2 minutes, where there's no bells or whistles or texts or phone calls that are going off, and you're actually able to concentrate for 1 damn minute or 2 damn minutes, because we don't have that anymore. I think that this next generation of technology is not only going to bring us together, but is going to give us a new platform for art. We've been in the rectangle for so damn long that we don't realize what it's like to be back in a cave. Back when we're able to paint on an endless canvas and see stars. I think that's awesome, and I'm so excited about it.